Hello everyone, welcome to rawlesims. It's me, Rawles, and this is another episode of Seduce Me, the Otome. So when we left off, Mika was about to go to yet another meal with her new roomies, I guess. She seems to spend a lot of time like having meal times and things. But anyway, let us continue. However, as my eyes closed, I felt a hand place itself on top of my head, breaking me out of my thoughts. Huh?
Morning. You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sam, the owner of the hand on my head, raised an eyebrow at me before rustling my hair and moving away to sit down at the table. He then barked towards the kitchen, where James was working.
Hey! Is the food done yet? I'm starving!
Why don't you go help?
There's no need to yell, Sam!
Okay, that's actually really funny.
You're yelling too!
Don't argue with me!
From behind me, Eric appeared and sat beside me, rubbing his temples in obvious annoyance.
Can we not yell this early in the morning? It's not like we're in the castle.
Castle? Now, if y'all dudes got a castle, you living up at her house for free. That is just not cool. For some reason, when I heard the word castle, I couldn't help but yell in surprise. These guys had a castle? Sam looked at me and smirked at my reaction. Of course he did.
Yeah, we have a castle back home. Our dining room's 10 times bigger than this room.
Well, why don't you go live there?
And wouldn't it be logical to not yell?
Whatever.
Soon James and Damien appeared, hands full of plates that carried bacon, eggs, toast, and waffles. They placed the plates down by each seat before seating themselves.
My favorite.
Finally.
Thank you for the breakfast. It looks amazing.
It's our pleasure.
All of a sudden, my phone began to ring, ushering me to pull it from my pocket and answer. Hello?
Hey, good morning. Guess who's at your door right now?
Uh-oh. Right on cue, there was a knock from the lobby door. My heart stopped. Suzu and Naomi were here. I think the house is called a foyer, Mika.
I'll get it.
My heart quickly began to pound in my chest. Matthew was in the lobby, and he'd get to the door first. I instantly jumped out of my chair and rushed out of the dining room. As I passed through the archway between the dining room and lobby, I saw Matthew reach his hand for the brass door handle, causing the world to go into slow motion. Matthew! Don't! But before my words could reach his ears, Matthew had opened the door and revealed the surprised faces of Naomi and Suzu. The world around me stopped as Suzu and Naomi kept their eyes on Matthew, who merely stared back in fear and embarrassment. I could feel the air go from warm to freezing in a matter of seconds. So many ellipses.
Hi?
I could not believe this was happening. How was I going to explain this? This week was already bad enough. Okay, hold up here. So, was she just planning to, never invite anyone over? I don't understand. How did she expect that nobody would even know that they were living there? To make matters worse, I was frozen in place. Please, for God's sake, someone do something other than stand there. Ellipsis, ellipsis, ellipsis. Oh, wait. Suzu, let me explain.
What's going on here?
Who's at the door, Matthew? Oh.
Soon the other Incubi appeared in the lobby with us. This situation was not getting pretty. I had to think fast. Okay, obviously they would know she doesn't have any brothers. They're in your head. Let's not gaslight anybody. They're
Then
visitors.
why did one of them open the door?
Because he was close to the door?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay, like, somebody's close to the door. It's not really, like, some grand hole in the story. It was no use. There was no time to lie to them. I felt helpless. Okay, seriously, somebody opening the door because they're standing next to the door and they're at your house. Okay, whatever. Then I felt a hand on my shoulder and felt the tension in my body almost fade away. I turned my head to see James smile at me before stepping in front of me.
We must apologize, ladies. We know this situation must be confusing for everyone. Let's take this to the dining room and we'll explain everything.
I stared at James, wide-eyed. Was he going to tell them who they were? Everything seemed surreal. Before I knew it, I was led to the dining room along with Suzu and Naomi and sat across from their confused gazes. As Naomi and Suzu sat down, Eric and Matthew, placed their untouched plates of food in front of them, surprising their guests.
Whoa, this looks amazing.
Thank you.
Our pleasure, ladies. We hope you enjoy your meal.
Make sure you dig in.
I looked at Naomi and Suzu as they began to eat, visibly enjoying every bite they placed in their mouth. Hopefully the food would ease their minds for whatever James wanted to reveal. As Naomi and Suzu ate their impromptu meals, James and the other boys stood behind my chair, making me grow more red in the face.
So, Anderson, are you gonna tell us what's going on?
Well, you see, Gently, James placed a hand on my shoulder again, signaling me to just eat my food. As I began to eat, he spoke to Naomi and Suzu.
We are Miss Anderson's house servants. We were hired by her late grandfather to help around the mansion, but since he has passed, we now assist Miss Anderson with living on her own.
5 hot young guys with no uniforms of any sort. Okay, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Such a huge house.
A huge house for a wonderful princess such as Miss Anderson deserves the greatest of servants to care for it.
But why are you all dressed so casually and stuff?
Thank
Your
you,
servants
Suzu.
supposed to have uniforms or whatever?
Well, Miss Anderson allows us to get comfy while we work, so she lets us wear casual clothes.
Yeah, something like that.
We're sorry if we made this situation awkward earlier.
We're very sure that Miss Anderson is also still getting used to having us as her servants. It would be very hard to explain after just a day.
I guess.
This is like the worst. I mean, telling you just found 5 like beat up sucking by your house would be a better story than that, frankly.
So, if I may ask, what brings you two ladies here?
Well, we wanted to see how our friend was doing. Since it's the weekend and all, usually we hang out and just chill.
Be a pretty nosy servant there.
Yeah, like going to the arcade and stuff.
Or the Pink Lady Cafe.
There's an arcade?
That makes a lot of sense, ladies. Well, we don't wish to disturb you any further than we have, so we'll take our leave and start preparing the house.
Huh? Preparing for what?
We gotta prep the house for some sort of housewarming party thing.
Our princess's parents requested a housewarming party to be held here soon.
And he's just making it so weird. And by soon, they mean tonight.
Oh, well, I guess we can help out or something. Right, Naomi?
I thought you wanted to go to the arcade.
This housewarming thing is more important.
No need. We can handle it. If you'd like to, miss, you can go out with your friends while we handle things here.
Seriously?
Sam, not now.
Well, I wanted to help out, but at the same time, I wanted to go out with my friends. James gave me a look of understanding, letting me know that if I left, everything would be okay. I had to make a decision. Personally, I'd go out since they stay in the house for free. But I feel like she wants to stay and help. Now we're gonna go
sure?
out. I'm sure. I trust these guys to be able to work everything out.
Thank you for trusting us, miss.
We'll have everything done for you by the time you return home.
All right, we'll wait here while you go get your things.
I was strangely relieved to know that everything was going to be okay while I was gone from the house. I trusted the guys enough to do everything they could for this house party, so my mind focused itself on hanging out with my friends. Eventually, I was out the door, walking toward Naomi's car with Naomi and Suzu. Suzu grabbed the entire back seat as I took the passenger side. Oh my god. Naomi started the car and drove off towards the city. It was nice driving out with my friends. After all that had happened, it was good to just go out and forget my troubles.
Well, since we got you out of the house, we might as well go to the mall and walk around a bit. We did just eat breakfast after all.
Yeah, that was a good meal, though.
Could have had more flavor, in my opinion.
Suzu, you eat chili peppers when you're bored. Everything you eat always needs more flavor.
You just need to eat spicy food all the time. You gotta tame your mouth.
Tame your mouth? Really, Suzu?
Sounds difficult.
Anyways, after the mall, what do you want to do? We could go to the Pink Lady Cafe and chill out with Kay. I'm sure she'd love the company.
Who is gay?
But we have to stop by the arcade. They have this new game out called Orion. You get to control this guy named Isaku, and you're part of the rebel forces, and you get to shoot things, and there's robots, and...
Sheesh, we get it, Suzu, we get it. We'll go to the arcade.
Which one first, though? You know how popular Kay is. She'll be swamped with customers later in the day.
I'd rather go in the late afternoon. She has better options during the last hour of the cafe.
So basically after the arcade?
You figured me out so quickly, Patterson.
What did I tell you about using my last name?
Well, let's go to... I want to figure out who Kay is. We hit the mall and walked around a bit, as we planned, before driving over to the Pink Lady Cafe. It was a small, home-style cafe with a lot of pink. And when I say a lot of pink, I mean a lot of pink. The cafe was crowded, but we definitely caught Kay's attention as we walked in.
Hey, girls, hey! Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you! Have a seat, I'll be with you in a minute, okay?
Yes,
And
that's
there
Kay.
she is, as busy as usual.
Told you we should have gone to the arcade first.
For 3 Suzu's line. Naomi glared at Suzy before leading us to a table to sit at. Suzy sat across from me as Naomi sat to my side. After a couple seconds of settling into our seats, Kay slid into the empty 4th seat with a smile.
So, how's everything been?
Crazy.
Life's always crazy with you. But I can tell Suzu's not happy to be here. That kind of breaks my heart, you know.
Suzu smirked and gently punched Kay in the shoulder, making Kay laugh. Naomi and I chuckled at the sight. Kay and Suzu were like sisters, wild and crazy. However, Kay didn't have any known relatives, so it was always nice to see her connect with Suzu. It makes her sound like, somebody like the government is looking for no known relatives.
How about you, Naomi? Have you figured out your problems?
No, and now's not the time to talk about them, Kay.
Naomi keeping secrets from us? That's a first.
She holds more than secrets, I'll tell you that much.
You guys!
Don't worry about it, Naomi. You can tell us on your own time. Naomi stared at me briefly before smiling in relief and happiness.
Thanks.
Kay giggled as Suzy rolled her eyes and groaned. Eventually, the 4 of us just started to chat and talk about random events that happened to us. I decided to not speak about the boys and just focus on school. Truly, though, it was relaxing to feel somewhat human again, without thinking about Incubi or anything of that sort. Simple young adult problems were already enough for me to handle. We eventually lost track of the time and wound up staying longer than we expected, making us unable to stop at the arcade before going home to dress for the housewarming party. Kay, as much as she wanted to come, had other plans, but wished us the best. The hour of the house party had arrived. In my mind, I kept double and triple checking the essentials for the party. Knowing my dad, he invited his business partners and the executives of the Anderson Company to show me off. I stood in front of my mirror in my room, staring at my form as a million thoughts ran through my mind. It was just a housewarming party, but at the same time, it wasn't. It was my chance to show my dad that I was better than his expectations. It was a chance for my parents to see me as a woman. It was my test to see if I was really ready to live on my own. Well, not truly alone. I had the Incubi to thank, but even so, I didn't have my dad guiding me or my mom helping me through living alone. A knock on my door broke my thoughts, surprising me. Who is it?
Hey, are you okay in there? Your parents should be here soon, so you should hurry getting ready.
Well, I'm ready, but...
But what? I'm sure you look fine, Anderson. Just come on out.
All right. As soon as I opened the door to the hall, I watched as Naomi's and Suzu's faces turn from smiles to complete awestruck stares. What?
Dude, you look hot.
Thanks.
Yeah, you look amazing. Where did you get that dress?
I've had it for a while. I just never had the chance to wear it. I figured I might as well bring it out now. I stepped out of my room and closed my bedroom door behind me. As I walked down the hall to the grand lobby, the Incubi stood waiting for me at the bottom, all dressed to the nines as proper servants. Well, if they were proper servants, they would all have the same tuxedo on, but whatever.
Whoa, they really know how to dress well, don't they?
Yeah. I was slightly taken aback on how great the boys looked in uniform. Each had the poise of a perfect gentleman. Even Sam. That is not the poise of a perfect gentleman. But then neither is that. Or that, honestly. Or that. He's the only one who looks like an actual servant. Damien over there. I slowly began to climb down the steps with Suzu and Naomi behind me. The boys watched as I descended the staircase, one step at a time, like knights waiting for their princess. I felt my face slightly flush, but I quickly shook my head to try and regain my thoughts. As I reached the last step, James offered his hand out to me and walked me down that final step, smiling.
As beautiful as a princess, miss.
Thank you.
So, are you prepared for tonight?
Let's see. Ready to ever be. I couldn't deny that I was nervous, but I had to try. This party was more than what it seemed, and I had done all that I could to prepare for it. Now it was all up to fate. The other boys smiled assuringly at me, which made me feel a little better about everything. I looked at my phone and marked the time. Almost right on cue, the doorbell rang. I gulped. I could practically feel my dad's aura from behind the door. Sam and Eric quickly rushed to the door and opened the double doors wide to reveal my parents, both dressed in their best. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad.
Oh, my. I didn't know your bequeathment came with servants.
It was probably overlooked. Besides, who would deny good service?
I was completely shocked. My parents didn't question the boys? They didn't ask for verification or anything? I looked to the boys and noticed Sam and Eric staring intently at my parents. Were they using their powers on them? They had to be. There was no way they'd be okay with this otherwise.
I guess the servants counted as belongings to the house.
My mother quickly rushed to me and gave me a large hug. I hugged her back, inhaling her perfume. It had only been a couple days, but living away from the ones who raised me was hard. My mother soon let me go and looked at my outfit.
Gorgeous. You look so lovely. David, look at your daughter and tell her I'm right.
I looked to my dad, who was looking around the lobby like an inspector. I stood my ground, waiting for him to look at me. When he did, he let a small smile grace his lips.
Your mother's right. You look like you're all grown up.
That sounded really creepy coming from him. The world around me stopped as my heart pounded hard in my chest. Did my dad just compliment me? On his own accord? My mother was grinning ear to ear at his words. I was beyond speechless. Thank you, Daddy. And we're going to stop on that note. As always, you guys, leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. So, I feel like, the whole thing with the Incubi and meeting everyone kind of went over pretty easily there. But I guess, that's not where the plot is. I will see you guys next time so we can dive into the whole housewarming party thing. I'm sure many ridiculous things will happen then. And I will speak to you guys then. Bye-bye.